In the fading light of an autumn evening in Ashford, Tennessee, a young woman's silent scream for help went unheard by everyone around her. Trapped in a nightmare she couldn't voice, stalked by a predator who knew she couldn't call out, Mallory Sinclair was running out of time and options. When she burst through the doors of a quiet cafe, desperately signing to strangers who couldn't understand, she had no idea that the man sitting by the window with his little daughter would become the answer to prayers she didn't know how to speak. The autumn evening had turned the streets of Ashford into a beautiful trap. 24-year-old Mallory Sinclair's hands were shaking so badly she could barely hold onto her grocery bag. Her heart hammered against her ribs like it was trying to escape. And the man in the gray hoodie, the one who had been haunting her life for 2 weeks, was still there, 20 feet behind her, matching her pace step for step. She had made a terrible mistake today. In her rush to grab milk and bread from the corner store, she had left her phone charging on her nightstand. It was supposed to be a quick errand. 10 minutes. Maybe 15. What could possibly happen? Everything. Everything could happen. Mallory's blood turned to ice when she stepped out of the store and saw him across the street. The gray hoodie. Those cold, calculating eyes watching her like a hunter watches prey. She walked faster. He crossed the street. She turned left. So did he. She broke into a near run. His footsteps matched hers perfectly. She couldn't hear if he was getting closer. She couldn't call out for help. She couldn't even know if she was screaming. And her phone, the one lifeline that could have helped her communicate with the hearing world, was sitting uselessly miles away. The street was emptying as darkness crept in. A young couple walked past, absorbed in their own world. Mallory rushed toward them, her hands moving frantically in sign language. Please help me. Someone is following me. I'm scared. The couple looked at her with confusion that quickly shifted to discomfort. The woman clutched her purse tighter. The man shook his head apologetically, and they hurried away, clearly not understanding a single gesture she had made. Mallory's chest tightened painfully. She looked back. The man in the gray hoodie had stopped pretending. He was staring directly at her now, a slow, terrible smile spreading across his face. He knew. He knew she was running out of options. She ran. Her feet carried her toward the main street where shops were still open, where people were still moving about. She spotted an elderly man locking up his hardware store and rushed toward him, her hands flying desperately through the air. Please call the police. That man is following me. Please. The elderly man squinted at her, then shook his head sadly and pointed to his ear. He didn't understand. He patted her shoulder kindly, said something she couldn't read on his lips, and walked away toward his car. Tears streamed down Mallory's face. The man in the gray hoodie leaned against a lamppost across the street, watching her struggle. Waiting. Patient. That's when she saw it. The warm glow of Brennan's Corner Cafe spilling onto the darkening sidewalk. Through the large windows, she could see people inside. Families. Couples. Individuals reading or working on laptops. Someone in there had to understand her. She pushed through the door so hard that several heads turned. A waitress called out, but Mallory was already moving. She approached a middle-aged woman with a coffee and magazine, signing rapidly, hands trembling. Please, I need help. A man is following me. I'm deaf. Please help me. The woman's eyes widened with alarm, but she didn't understand. She held up her hands helplessly and called to her husband, who looked just as confused. Mallory moved to the next table. College students stared up from their textbooks. Uncertain and uncomfortable. One pulled out his phone, maybe searching for a translation app. Hope slipped through Mallory's fingers like sand. She was surrounded by people, yet completely alone. The cafe door chimed behind her. She didn't need to turn around to know who had entered. He was inside now. Through her tears, she scanned the room one last time. And that's when she saw him. A man sitting by the window with a little girl, maybe 4 years old. Unlike everyone else, he wasn't confused or uncomfortable. He was watching her with focus, with understanding. Mallory moved toward him on instinct. Her hands shook so badly she could barely form the signs. Please help me. That man won't stop following me. He's been stalking me. I don't have my phone. Please. The man raised his hands and signed back slowly, clearly. I understand you. You're safe now. I'm going to help you. What's your name? Relief crashed over her so hard her knees nearly gave out. Someone understood her. She wasn't invisible anymore. Mallory, she signed. My name is Mallory. I'm Wyatt, he replied. Stay here with me and my daughter. I won't let anything happen to you. He spoke gently to his daughter. Julie, sweetheart, this lady is going to sit with us for a bit. She's having a scary day. Julie nodded seriously. Is a bad guy being mean to her? Something like that. You're very brave, okay? Wyatt positioned himself so he could see the door, then signed to Mallory. I'm telling them to call the police. At the counter, he spoke urgently to the barista. Call the police now. That man by the door has been stalking the woman at my table. Don't let him leave. When Wyatt returned, he signed calmly. They're on their way. Mallory told him everything. 2 weeks of being followed. Reporting it. Not being believed. Today's mistake. No one could hear me. She signed. You did the right thing, Wyatt replied. You're not alone anymore. Julie tugged his sleeve. Why does she talk with her hands? She's deaf, sweetheart. And I learned how to understand her a long time ago. Julie's face lit up. That's cool. She turned to Mallory and signed clumsily, but earnestly. My daddy is the best helper. Mallory laughed and cried at the same time. Before the man in the hoodie could leave, police officers entered the cafe. His calm dissolved into panic as they stopped him. His name was Gregory Dalton. The officers found prior arrests for stalking in multiple states. He had been watching Mallory, waiting. If she hadn't found someone who could communicate for her, the outcome would have been devastating. As he was led away in handcuffs, apologies filled the cafe. But Mallory's eyes stayed on Wyatt. Thank you, she signed. She cried then, deep, shaking sobs. Years of loneliness. Weeks of terror. All released at once. Julie hugged her tightly. The bad guy is gone. Me and Daddy will keep you safe. And somehow she believed it. In the weeks that followed, Wyatt gave Mallory his number. He helped her file a restraining order. Interpreted at the courthouse. Then Mallory started showing up at the cafe on Saturdays. Julie was thrilled. Wyatt realized he looked forward to those evenings more than anything else. Julie began learning sign language with enthusiasm, practicing words like friend, happy, love. On hard days, Wyatt texted Mallory reminders. You're safe. You're not alone. When she felt invisible at family gatherings, Wyatt stayed by her side, interpreting every conversation. And Mallory brought light into his life and into Julie's. For months later, Julie fell asleep in the cafe booth. Mallory asked about Julie's mother. Wyatt told her about Amelia. About love. About loss. They shared grief, quietly understood. 6 months after they met, Wyatt showed up at Mallory's apartment with sunflowers. I fell in love with you, he signed. Somewhere between the cafe and now. Mallory smiled through tears. I've been waiting for you to say it. Julie knocked on the door moments later, holding a glitter-covered card. Will you be part of our family? Mallory said yes with her whole heart. Later, Wyatt told her the truth about Julie's hearing, that she would likely lose it completely. Mallory took his hands and signed gently. I lost my hearing as a child. It was terrifying. But silence isn't empty. It's just different. Julie will be okay. I promise. And together, they prepared her, not with fear, but with joy. Sign language became a superpower. The deaf community became home. 1 year later, they returned to the same cafe. Julie signed carefully. Thank you for teaching me. I'm not scared anymore. I love you. Mallory held her close, tears falling freely. They had saved each other. And they had built a family, not from tragedy, but from understanding, courage, and love spoken through hands that reached straight for the heart.